The purpose of this press conference is to provide an update regarding the Noose investigation. I want to take a moment to thank the following agencies who assisted in this case: Lehigh County District Attorney's Office, the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The Allentown Police Department conducted a thorough investigation, including interviews of persons, analysis of evidence, and consultation with the District Attorney's Office of Lehigh County. As a result of the subsequent investigation, LaTarsha Brown was charged with tampering with or fabricating physical evidence, a misdemeanor of the second degree, and false reports to law enforcement, a misdemeanor of the third degree. As in every criminal case, the fact that a warrant has been issued or a complaint has been filed is merely an accusation. The defendant is presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty in a court of law.
What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mo.J. This is the Mo You Know. Well, it looks like we have a 2025 Jussie Smollett. It says a woman accused of leaving a noose on her own desk at Allentown City Hall, then reporting it. Now, we heard the police officer because this week they went out there and actually got her because they went over some DNA. So we're going to go through this article, break down what we see, and see if this lady's actually telling the truth and if you believe her or not. Disclaimer, I don't believe her one bit. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's go ahead and jump into these articles and break down the timeline of what happened with the new Jussie Smollett, aka Miss LaTarsha Brown. Allentown, Pennsylvania, an Allentown City employee who claims someone left a noose on her desk is accused of planting it there herself. Police arrested and charged LaTarsha Brown. They say Brown reported finding a noose on her desk at City Hall back in January. An investigation was launched and the noose was submitted for DNA analysis. On January 10th, 2025, shortly after 7 a.m., Allentown City worker LaTarsha Brown, 42, arrived at her office on the third floor of the City Hall building in Allentown, Pennsylvania. About a half hour later, Brown called Allentown police and told them she spotted what she believed to be a noose on her desk when she arrived at work. Now, it took her 30 minutes to notice that. That has me asking Miss Brown, what were you doing for 30 minutes? Did you go to your desk and go to work? Or were you over there at the coffee machine chatting it up, yapping it up early in the morning? Because it took her 30 minutes to discover it and then call the police. I'm already suspicious of this story. As police investigated, they spoke with employees who were on the third floor of the City Hall between the time Brown left work during the afternoon of January 9th and returned during the morning of January 10th. All of the employees except for Brown provided a swab for DNA testing, according to investigators. While Brown initially cooperated, she later asked that the investigation end, police said. Well, there you go. That right there already tells you. Now, I know a lot of people say if you're innocent, then you don't have anything to hide. But me, whenever it comes to dealing with police, you always want to get a lawyer involved, especially if you're giving DNA samples, because I don't want you running my DNA on other crimes. It should only be ran here and disregarded, especially if I'm not found for anything. So always get you a lawyer. The noose was submitted to the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab for DNA testing on January 14, 2025. On January 24, 2025, the Lehigh County District Attorney's Office approved a search warrant for Brown's DNA, and a sample was obtained that same day. Brown's swab obtained the same day. Brown's swab was submitted to the Pennsylvania State Police Bethlehem Regional Crime Lab on January 27th for a comparison with the DNA recovered from the noose. On March 10th, the Pennsylvania State Police Forensic DNA Division issued a report indicating that they matched Brown's DNA sample with the sample obtained from the noose. Investigators said they also said no other DNA profiles were found on the noose during the investigation. So it looks like all fingers are pointing to Mrs. Brown. Brown was then charged on March 24th, 2025 with tampering with or fabricating physical evidence and false reports to law enforcement authorities. It's looking bad for her. Brown is scheduled for a preliminary hearing on April 22nd, 2025. Online court records don't list the contact of any legal representation who could speak on her behalf. LaTarsha Brown, contact me. My name is Mo.J. This is the Mo You Know, and I'm going to keep everyone informed, but I can also go in here and try to help you out. Now, my prices aren't cheap. I'm talking $49.99 an hour. I can get in there and tell the judge, look, Miss LaTarsha was drunk on the job and we'll take drinking on the job, but we didn't fabricate any of this. She was drunk and she thought someone put the noose on her desk. So that would be my defense for you if you need me, Miss Brown. Let me know, though.
I'm now going to ask Captain Milkovich to provide a summation of this investigation.
Good afternoon, everybody. Captain Milkovich, Criminal Investigations Division. On January 10, 2025, at approximately 7:11 a.m., Allentown City employee LaTarsha Brown arrived at her office on the third floor of City Hall. At approximately 7:38 a.m., Ms. Brown notified the Allentown Police Department that she discovered what she believed to be a noose on her desk upon arriving at work. Officers assigned to the Community Outreach Unit, Crime Scene Identification Unit, and Criminal Investigations Unit responded, initiating a criminal investigation to identify the individual responsible for placing the noose on Ms. Brown's desk. During the investigation, video surveillance and building access control records were reviewed to identify city employees present on the third floor of City Hall between the time Ms. Brown left for work on the afternoon of January 9, 2025, and her arrival on the morning of January 10th. Those employees were interviewed. Each was asked if they would provide a buccal swab for DNA testing if needed. Every employee agreed, except for Ms. Brown. Initially cooperative, Ms. Brown later requested that the investigation be discontinued. The noose was submitted to the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Lab for DNA testing on January 14, 2025. On January 24, 2025, a search warrant was approved by the Lehigh County District Attorney's Office for Ms. Brown's DNA, and a DNA sample was obtained that same day. On January 27, 2025, Ms. Brown's buccal swab was submitted to the Bethlehem Regional Crime Lab of the Pennsylvania State Police for comparison with DNA profiles recovered from the noose. On March 10, 2025, the Forensic DNA Division of the Pennsylvania State Police issued a written report indicating that Ms. Brown's DNA matched the DNA profile obtained from the swabs of both the outer surface and inner knotted portion of the noose after it was taken apart. No other person's DNA profiles found on the evidentiary items involved in this investigation. As a result of this investigation earlier today, Detective Harold Bonds of the Allentown Police Department filed charges against LaTarsha Brown at District Court 31-2-01 for the criminal offenses outlined earlier by Chief Roca. Thank you.
All right, let me know what you guys think about LaTarsha Brown. Are we believing this story? Someone put this noose on her desk, or she fabricated and she's the 2025 Jussie Smollett? Let me know what you think. I'm J. This is the Mo You Know. I'll keep you guys updated on what happens with her. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers over here. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And this is the Mo You Know. Miss Brown, good luck.